out. And hello, and welcome back to Making Work Work, the interview series where we talk to guest experts about how people can be happier at work. Hello, my name is Chris Thorne. I'm an executive coach, NLP practitioner, and facilitator, and my mission is to help people love what they do, especially at work. So I help people at work to avoid the problem of burnout. And I do that by helping them to figure out what it is that they're doing and how they're doing it. It's getting in the way of them achieving their full potential. And that's so important with organizations because if we don't tap into our people's potential and development, then we can't attract and retain the people that we need in order for our businesses to grow. Now, this has been a crazy time. And I think a lot of businesses are asking, look, what can we do to help and support our people's mental well-being and their emotional health so that they can be productive and thrive and obviously do all this whilst working remotely, so no small task. And I'm particularly passionate about partnering with other people that share this passion for helping people to live their best lives and tap into that potential, which is why I am so excited today to introduce you to my next guest, Heather Prince. Heather, hello.
Hello.
Heather is a part of the Virtual Coffee House community with me. Now, the Virtual Coffee House is a fantastic group of coaches and trainers that are partnering to bring the power of unconscious learning, I guess I'd say, to help people make changes that are going to be positive and help them improve their lives. Now, Heather has a really fascinating background. She's been a meditation teacher for 25 years, as well as an ancestral healer. She often finds herself working particularly with women that are going through divorce and struggling with low self-esteem and low self-confidence and just need to feel more empowered and get back in control of their lives. She's been a published author. She's created meditation CDs. She's even got meditation apps. So when it comes to meditation and sorting yourself out, she's definitely the gal to go to. So Heather, just tell me, this has just been such a crazy time with lockdown. What have you found just these last few months to be like?
I think that most people have found a huge change, Chris. And I think that the majority of people don't like change and they don't like being told what to do.
No.
by the higher powers that be. But I'm a great believer in common sense. I'm a great believer of using your own common sense of what is right for you. So
our inner wisdom.
Yes, and on a personal level, I think that people have found more time. They haven't been traveling. They've been working from home. They've gained maybe an hour, even 2 hours a day more because they're not traveling to either work or to meetings. And they've been dipping their toe in outside their comfort zone of what is this meditation and mindfulness all about? And I know on a personal level, because I've been teaching it for so long, that actually this lockdown for me has been okay because I've been working on myself and doing these practices for a very long time. And it's like an instrument. If you're going to learn the piano, you have to practice. You can't just do it after a couple of lessons. It's daily practice. And it's the same with meditation and mindfulness. It's daily practice.
Ooh. So just take us through the journey of how you got to be where you are now, because I'm fascinated by what it is that you do. And I'm sure the rest of our listeners would love to just kind of know a little bit, how did you become a meditation teacher? How'd this all come about?
I was a young mother and I was introduced to a local lady that ran a development group and going to that group with the intention to help my school friend whose husband was diagnosed with cancer, opened up a catalyst for me to the world of spirituality and to the benefit of visualization. And unfortunately, my friend's husband did pass away at a very early age, in his early 30s. And that opened up for me, but for the grace of God go I. So it's about grabbing life. And I spun off from that group and began my own meditation group from home that
Mhm.
grew into hiring a local hall,
Oh,
and
wow.
the rest, as they say, is history.
Oh, wow. How fascinating. And you mentioned earlier that you've observed that a lot of people have been exploring mindfulness and meditation during lockdown. What do you think it is that's prompted people to seek that out?
I think that people have been looking for something
Hmm.
as a self-help.
Yeah.
And I think that from when I started over 20 years ago, it was quite a hippie kind of practice.
Woo.
But I believe now, as we are more open to alternative options,
Hmm.
and people are having a little bit of mindfulness at the end of their yoga session. I think that a lot more people are feeling the benefit of this, and it's becoming more mainstream.
Mm. And I mean, were there any challenges that you faced along the way to getting started? Because I get the sense that you were doing this kind of back before it became, as you say, mainstream. So were there
Yeah,
some potential attitudes or things that you encountered that you had to kind of
I think,
overcome?
yeah, I discovered that women were very open to practicing meditation, visualization.
Hmm.
I am a really grounded person, and I keep things real. So I don't get people to sit on a meditation cushion with their legs crossed and practice any particular way of meditation. I am very grounded. I keep it real. If somebody can sit on a chair, if somebody wants to lay on their sofa,
Hmm.
there's no rule to it. I don't believe there's a right way or a wrong way.
Hmm.
I think some people think that they've got to clear their mind of everything.
Mm.
Not particularly. Yes, we have a monkey mind. Yes, we're thinking hundreds of thousands of thoughts every day, and a lot of them are the same. I've got 5 free videos on YouTube of how to
Mm.
meditate,
Mm.
which gives simple guidance. Um, but really, it's just about even taking time to be silent. And if that means, oh, somebody says, I can't sit and I can't lay, I need to be moving, go for a walk. Don't
Mm.
take your mobile phone. Just take your keys with you, and your dog or somebody else's dog, and just go for a walk just for an hour. No earphones, no music, no podcasts. Just be listening to the birds. Just hear the breeze in the trees. Just be. And at the beginning, when I first started 20 odd years ago, and my mentor said to me, just be, and I thought,
What?
what do you mean? How do I just be? But now I say it because it's important just to be with you. And I think a lot of us avoid our thoughts. We're busy, and
Mm.
when we're watching and we're doing, and it's about being. And I'm a great believer in be, do, have.
Mm.
Being who you want to be, wish to be, doing what needs to be done, and having what it is that you wish.
That's so fantastic. That's so powerful, Heather. And I mean, I would totally agree with you. Mindfulness isn't. I mean, I've recently got into mindfulness and meditation more heavily myself during lockdown, and the meditations that I'm doing, they're saying that the meditation isn't about clearing your mind. It's about noticing the thoughts that come and go in your
Yes,
mind. They're like leaves on a stream, or cars that pass you on the road, or something like that. And it's actually
yes,
just becoming conscious and aware that these are just mental events in your mind. And I think what you were saying earlier about people don't necessarily want to be with their thoughts, I think that's quite a powerful point, because actually the easiest, I shouldn't say the easiest, the quickest way really to deal with some of these uncomfortable emotions and these fears and uncertainties that we have, especially during COVID, it is really to face those emotions and just process them. Because I think in the process of learning that we can actually manage those things, that we are actually going to survive that emotion or that feeling, it gives us a feeling of confidence, because we realize that actually the worst that can happen to us is a feeling. And I think mindfulness is a really powerful way to help us learn to manage those. Do you
yes.
agree?
Yes, I agree. It's paying attention in the present moment.
So
That is mindfulness. It's just paying attention in the present moment. And what you do, when you do something, you do it intentionally, and you do it with non-judgment. I think people are very what I call judgy. People are very oh, she's doing that and he's doing that, and oh, she's not wearing her mask, and oh, you know, and everyone's judging everyone else. And it's about becoming non-judgmental and leading by example. We've got no control over the bigger things going on out in the world. We've got no control over the weather, but we have got control with regard to us. And when we do mindfulness, when we do visualization, we actually connect with the peace within. And when I speak to people, they go, I just want to feel peace. Well, it's taking that time and practicing mindfulness, practicing meditation, visualization, and connecting to what is within us. It's already there. Everyone's looking outside. You know, they'll buy the designer handbag and the designer shoes and then wonder, why don't I feel happy? They were happy in that moment, but they're not happy. I've worked with men that have got the beautiful wife and the Ferrari, and they've got the fabulous house and the swimming pool, and they come in and they go, why don't I feel happy? Because they haven't got in touch with what's within. Their own self-worth. Self-worth isn't about the job title. It's not about how much is in the bank account. It's so much deeper. And when people start to practice the tool of growing that and becoming whole, then they feel happy.
Wow.
And I think what we're going through in this huge change in the world is a bigger understanding than just the materialistic stuff that we were focused on before.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's given people a real opportunity to reflect, isn't it? And to really think and have a chance to really look at their lives and decide, look, is this really how I want to be living and, you know, being, doing and having effectively? And that I agree with P. Do have, that's a powerful tool that I use myself. And I mean, can you just clarify for people, because we're throwing around the terms of meditation and mindfulness. Can we just kind of separate those out for people? Can you just say, what is meditation? And then I know we've talked about what is mindfulness in terms of its attending to the present, but let's be really clear for our audience. What's the difference?
Okay, so mindfulness is the observation, as you've said, being the observer of thoughts, of emotions, of your body. It's like, I will be working with somebody that says, I get panic attacks. Okay, where do you feel it? Is it a tightness here? Do you feel sick? Or is it down in your belly? Do you feel like you're going to be sick? Do you feel it like in your body? Like, are you quivering? It's becoming mindful of where in your body this is, as well as what emotions are coming up for you, what thoughts come. It's about the package of that. It's mindful awareness of the breath. When we breathe shallow, very quickly, that's when the anxiety, the panic can deepen. When we breathe mindfully all the way down to the belly and fill up our lungs like they're balloons, and then we breathe out like we're blowing out the candles of a birthday cake, and then those balloons flatten, we are mindful of our breath. It's something we did from the second we were born, but we don't think about it. We just take it for granted. We take our whole body for granted. It's a system where each organ works synergistically with the other organ. Within us, we have energy centers. For anyone that's done yoga, we've got the third eye, we've got the crown, we've got the throat chakra, we've got the heart chakra, and so on. They're like cogs inside a clock. Anybody that's watched on, I don't know if it's Netflix or Amazon, the new Jingle Jangle Christmas film, you'll see all the little cogs moving inside the inventor's model that he's produced. Well, we're like that. We've got those cogs, but when one's out of alignment, we don't feel a sense of well-being. When we do mindfulness and we sense something's out of alignment, we can work on that, because each one represents different things, and the body will show us as well. Anybody with a lower back pain, hip problems, leg problems, feet, ankles, knees, that is your root chakra at the base of the spine that's out of alignment because of instability or insecurity. And that then relates to your bank account, because if you haven't got financial freedom, that affects your base chakra, your root chakra. So all of this is about being mindful of what's going on and noticing your thoughts. As I've said, you can do a mindful walking meditation and get in touch with what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Mindful eating. I've just worked with a lady that wants to have IVF, and she needs to lose quite a few kilograms. But we didn't discuss food. We didn't discuss what she can and can't do. We just discussed emotions. And as she's let go of emotions from past hurt, she can't believe that she's getting on the scale and it's going lower and lower. And she's nearer and nearer her opportunity of IVF.
That's really interesting. It shows how much of an impact our emotions have on our thoughts and our whole physiology in our body. I've heard this. There's a term that I think is called molecules of emotion. We actually carry the emotions in our bodies, and I know from the research that I've done around mindfulness that scientifically it's been proven the impact that this has on the body. They use mindfulness meditation to help people deal with chronic pain because it helps us to separate out the
breathing.
The brain pain it's the mental suffering we create as a result. But also they've done brain scans and they've shown scientifically that when people are doing this, their brain is calming down. There's a very large nerve called the vagus nerve that runs, I can't remember, it's like from the neck down, it's like pretty much most of the way through the body. And when we're doing this deep breathing, that calms that whole nerve down and it sends a signal to the brain to say, look, we're safe, it's okay, everything just settles down.
Yes.
And we literally cannot think creatively if we are in that excuse me, if we're in that stressed sort of fight flight response, because our brain just shuts off. The emotional side of our brain is just looking for threats, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I mean it's amazing how we are an amazing machine, if you like. And when I spoke earlier on about non-judgment, a lot of people I work with carry a stick that they beat themselves up with, and we get them to throw that stick away, because I always say, would you speak to your best friend the way that you're speaking to yourself? Oh no, I'd offend them. Well, you're offending yourself. Be kind. Being kind starts with being kind to yourself, and then you can be kind to others. I feel that everything starts with self, and what you have projecting back at you in the world is teaching you what you need to address within yourself. So that's how I work with my clients. Having mindfulness and what it can do, it's amazing, because as you've said, it reduces stress because of that vagus nerve understanding that's getting all the oxygen that it needs to all the different parts of the body. It increases focus, so you can get more done in less time. You can improve your emotional regulation. So that means you can reduce impulsiveness, and you can get increased emotional intelligence. So you can have better conflict resolution skills. You can increase your empathy, put yourself in other person's shoes, and self-respect, and then give respect to others. I've worked with teachers that say, I don't know why the kids don't respect me. Well, they didn't respect themselves.
It's how interesting.
It starts with the self, and then you're going to gain that respect.
That's really fascinating. And those are benefits, the empathy and the emotional intelligence, be able to resolve conflicts. Those are all, can you not see also how much of a huge impact that would have on well, anyone's life, but also especially like at work as well. If we can have more, certainly with leaders, to be have more empathy and better
Yeah,
conflict
I mean,
resolution skills is quite significant.
absolutely. If you're a leader, and you've got no empathy skills, you're not going to gain a lot of positive energy coming your way. If somebody that works in your team has got a parent with dementia or Alzheimer's, or they've lost a sibling, or whatever, the empathy has to be there, and the respect of what they're going through. Not just, oh well, you can't get the job done. It goes deeper than that. As humans, we get increased resilience with mindfulness.
Now tell us about resilience, because that's like the buzzword of 2020, isn't it?
It is.
Becoming more resilient. What do you mean by that?
It's an increased capacity to overcome challenges. And I always use the little story of a tree on a desert island where a hurricane comes.
Ooh.
And you think of the bamboo that blows in the wind, it's resilient, and after the hurricane, it's still standing. Well, that needs to be us. We're going to have, unfortunately, end of relationships. We're going to have, unfortunately, the passing of people that we love. It's part of life. Now, that hurricane can floor us, or we can be like bamboo. With mindfulness, with meditation, with visualization, we can be resilient.
How does the visualization fit into this, Heather? Tell us about that.
I like to work by giving visualization of imagine, sense, or feel. Because when people first start to do meditation with me, they go, "Oh, Heather, I can't see anything." Well, that's okay, because that will come. And one lady, it will come in a week or a month, and another person, it might happen in a year. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you're better or lesser than anyone else. Because if you went to an art class and the teacher put a rose in a vase, and you all stood there with your lovely easels and your art pencils or paints, you'd all be painting the same rose, but it would all look different on the canvas.
Yes.
Meditation's exactly the same. You'll all be given a similar visualization. It's only a guide. But you're all going to come out with your unique result on your canvas, your own unique experience.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay. Huh. And I mean, you were mentioning earlier this lady that you help with the IVF. I mean, are there any other sort of clients that have kind of stood out that you particularly noticed made a big shift as a result of meditation? One or two.
I love the story of a lovely lady who's now in her 70s, and I've known her for maybe, I don't know, 15 years now.
Okay.
And she was quite a religious lady, and I'm not about religion, I'm just about being a good human. And she said to me she was on medication, and her favorite phrase was, "Heather, I don't need medication anymore. I need meditation."
Oh, wow, that's great.
And
what a good catchphrase.
Yes, and she came off of her medication with the help of her GP, of course, and she practiced her meditation and did extremely well with it. And she had a personal issue where she wasn't speaking to a brother for many, many years, and didn't see her nieces. And they found a solution, and they got back in touch, and they're now spending time in each other's company, and she's over the moon about it. And she said without meditation, without addressing her own emotions and feelings, going back to her childhood, and she also did have a clearing of her soul records with me, then it all just made everything better.
Shift. Wow, that's interesting. And are there any people that, I mean, we could kind of relate this to in terms of like a I don't know, maybe an impact on their professional life or their career in some way?
Oh yes, I've worked for many people that have sat here I am in the energy studio, but you don't have to sit here. I mean, I work for people worldwide, but the people that have come and worked with me have had, as you've said, burnout, because I think we've grown up in a culture where you're encouraged to work hard. Yeah. But I personally say work smart. I don't believe you need to work hard. It's about working smart. And a lot of people want to come out of the grind, the hamster wheel, and they want maybe to open up their own holistic therapy center abroad. And they want to clear everything out of their way. And by working with visualization, because if you think of anyone that has made a huge impact, I don't know, let's say Richard Branson, he had a vision. That vision is a blueprint, which by the law of attraction, you kind of send it out in your mind and your words out into the universe. And we create by our vision, by our imagination, by our thoughts. We are a lot more powerful than people actually recognize.
That's really fascinating. And, you know, I mean, from my own standpoint, I mean, I have actually noticed it's really interesting how once we really get clear on a purpose and a direction and a vision, how things seem to just kind of fall in line to support that. And I don't know if it's that potentially our brain is looking for those things to support us to achieve that mission, or I think people are attracted to people that are have a bit of a quest or a mission because they, you know, they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. I mean, just kind of thinking about some of the things we've been talking about here, are there any sort of, I don't know, myths that you think that people have around meditation or mindfulness that, you know, might kind of stand in the way of them?
They think obviously in India in the 60s, the Beatles went out to India and they sat there cross-legged and, you know, holding fingers, and it was all a bit weird, you know. When you think of the United Kingdom in the 60s, when people would go to holiday camps and going abroad was unusual, you know, meditation in India was certainly more than unusual. But as I've said, nowadays it's become a lot more
mainstream,
a lot more mainstream. We're not all weird, and I'm maybe I'm different, I'm unique, and I'm proud of that difference. I'm proud of that uniqueness, and I love the work that I do. I love showing people how to reach their full potential, and that's my mission. So it's great to offer what I've learned with mindfulness and meditation. It's real. And if somebody can do 10 minutes, that's great. If somebody can do 30 minutes, lovely. But there's no hard and fast rules.
So, I mean, if I was someone and I was kind of wanting to dip my toe in the water and try meditation, what would you sort of suggest is kind of a good way to get started?
First of all, listen to the how-to videos to know. I always say, don't cross your arms, don't cross your legs. Anybody that understands body language, when you do that, you're cutting yourself, you're doing yourself. To have a straight back is always good. To drop the shoulders, we carry a lot on our shoulders.
Yes, we
do.
And
sometimes we're carrying other people's stuff. And what I like to share is, it doesn't make any difference to your kids, your siblings, your parents, whoever stuff you're carrying. They've chosen to experience that for their own learning and understanding. So take it off. Take it off. All you need to do is carry your own stuff, not anybody else's, because you're not taking it away from them. You're adding on to yourself. Uncrossing your legs is good, and just following the instruction of the visualization. And a visualization might take you and say, go to a place of beauty. Now, one person might say, oh, I went to the beach, and another person might say, I went to the forest, or I went to the mountains. That's okay. because we've got free will, and what is right for one would be something different from someone else. But as I've always said, I don't have any ego in my groups. Nobody's better, nobody's lesser. Everyone's at their stage on their path, their journey, and everyone's the same. Somebody just might have been doing it a bit longer than someone else that's just starting. That's okay.
So it sounds like the visualization is something that just, it gives them something to kind of focus on, to keep the mind kind of on track, and just kind of notice that breathing and start to ease into it.
I just think that you'll start to notice, even if you can't see, you'll start to feel, you'll start to sense. You know, you don't have to sit there and think, well, I can't see what she's saying. That's okay. You can just feel it or sense it, or think, oh, actually, she said that, but I'm going off over there. That's okay. That's okay. As I say, there's no right or wrong. You'll get what's needed.
And it sounds like you just need to be open and just give yourself the time and the space to do this, don't you, really? And try things.
Yeah, my favorite thing that I say is go with the flow.
Oh, I've heard that. Yes.
Because it's really hard to swim upstream.
Yes.
Just go with the flow. And if ever anybody is by a mountain and just watch the water coming down, it goes over the rocks and under the boughs that have fallen, and you know, water just goes, doesn't it, where it needs to go. We need to be the same. We are predominantly made up of water. And that's why the moon affects our emotions, because it works with the tides, and we are so much water, so we're affected too. But that's a whole other interview.
Wow, I was going to say, because we could obviously get quite deep with this, but just kind of to bring it back. So you mentioned the word journey. Now, I just wanted to take this opportunity to sort of talk a little bit about the hero's journey. Now, the hero's journey is fantastic personal development program, which Fee and the Virtual Coffee House have developed to support people through, especially through this second time of lockdown and craziness. And Heather, I know you were quite involved as well in the conception of the whole Bamboo Resilience and Emotional Wellbeing app, which goes along to support this. So can you just kind of tell us about what's been your experience of the hero's journey? I've been doing the hero's journey myself as well. I'd just be curious, what have you taken away so far?
I think it's the most wonderful opportunity for people to work on the self. And I think a lot of people have a belief that it's selfish to think about yourself. And especially women are such givers to other people. But I think this is the most wonderful opportunity for anybody watching this to focus on self. What kind of goals you're aiming at, what kind of things that you are feeling and thinking and doing, and what needs to shift. It's a huge self-reflection. It's a great journey, because I've spoken about peace being within. Well, the hero is within. It's not out there. You can't go outside and go and find the hero.
No.
You are
the hero. Yes.
Already. And this journey will just reveal your inner hero. So it's really exciting.
I found it so powerful in terms of, particularly the first few days where you were kind of really honing in on that purpose, and then just kind of starting to notice about which thoughts are supporting that purpose and which ones aren't. And just kind of as different things have popped up, emerging with that. I mean, one of the particular takeaways I really love from both this journey and the app is is turning something where it's hard or difficult into, firstly, how can I break it down and figure out what it is I'm finding hard about something, so that I can be really specific and make it a bit more manageable, so that I can actually find a way forward. But really, it's also that whole process of starting to catch yourself and recognize, so that when you're saying things like, oh, I can't do that, it's having that instant reframe. Well, what I can do is
what I can do.
And I love that, because it's even better than asking, well, what can you do question, because the what I can do is assumptive. It assumes that you know what to do and you can do things and there are things you can do. And I found that's really resonated with me in particular in the last few days. And then I know obviously day 7 and 8, I've got it in front of me here, is really it is talking a bit about mindfulness, isn't it? It's starting to look at that awareness. And I tried to do some practice on this yesterday, just kind of really noticing every time I made a cup of tea or petted my dog or went for a walk, or just really kind of attending to those moments. And then today it's about well, I guess we're on day 9 now, but day 8 was, how do we become more vigilant and aware, start to really kind of bring some of these things to the fore so that they can help us.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, what you've become aware of in those few days?
Yes, it is. It's always great to heighten your awareness. And I think as well, I mean, awareness is the first piece of change, but then I think it's really useful to have these little hacks and mnemonics and things to hang some of these little mantras on, because it's got to stick. Because so often I find that
Absolutely.
you read all this self-development, or you go to a course and you'll attend it and, oh, it's amazing, it's great. And then you go away and it doesn't stick. So something that's, repetitive, but also gets things in your brain in a good way, I think is
Yes,
incredibly helpful.
yes, because if you read a self-help book, and they're great, and I've read them myself, and you've got all good intentions, and then life happens.
Yes.
Whereas this is a day-to-day process where you just focus on small thing each and every day, and you go through that journey, and it's just an incredible result at the end of it.
Mm. And tell us a little bit about the app itself, the Bamboo app with the emotional resilience and well-being, because I know there's 8 zones in there to support resilience and well-being, and I know one of them is mindfulness.
It is. It's the silver zone. You'll find me in the silver zone. And there is a meditation in there to help you allow your inner hero to come out. There might be a little bit fear for some people to think, really? What I'm the hero? What, it's within me? Gosh, what happens when I release that? What will happen, and what will people think? And we need to let go of that fear and allow that hero to come out and be who we were truly born to be. And it's okay. So you'll find that within the app. And there's lots of other visualizations in the silver zone which relate to the other colored zones in the app.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. And obviously, we'll put links to being able to download the Hero's Journey and find out more about the app and these free videos about meditation that you mentioned, Heather. I mean, is there anything else that you would sort of share with our audience in terms of just how to kind of take all this and make it their own in terms of the mindfulness and the meditation? Is there anything you think we've missed?
Only to say that they will experience increased physical well-being. I think as we've gone through the challenge of 2020, we need to take on the responsibility of our own well-being, of our own immune system. Watching the media feed us fear will lower the immune system.
Definitely.
We need to take responsibility of what we're ingesting on a physical level, food and drink, as well as what we're ingesting mentally and emotionally with what's being fed to us in the world. So it's really important when you practice mindfulness and meditation and visualization, get improved physical well-being, because you're aware of, oh yes, I'm going to take that walk today. In Japan, they call it forest bathing. If anyone's near a forest and you can go into a forest, the negativity can be released as you walk, as you take in nature's beauty, and you have that silent time, which is of great benefit as well. You get improved creativity. There is a creative visualization in the silver zone, and improved collaboration, because we're in the time now where it's not all about me, it's about what can I do for you? It's about collaboration. Let's join up. So there's an improved expression of creativity. Now that might be connected with it might be a personal thing, journaling, poetry. You might want to write a novel and you haven't done it yet, or you be at a time with your grandchildren, your life story, anything creative. You might want to do art. I interviewed a lady on my Facebook group whose husband died after 32 years, and she did painting, and now she teaches painting.
Oh,
So
neat.
whatever the creativity is, yes, allow that creativity to come out. You might be a great knitter. It doesn't matter what you do, but just allow it.
Because you never know where it could lead.
No.
No. Excellent. Oh, this is great. Well, listen, Heather, thank you so much for your time and your insights and your wisdom today. I think this has been absolutely fantastic. And I know we've gotten some great tips out here for our audience and our listeners. I mean, give it a go. I mean, I honestly heard about this mindfulness thing for years, and I was like, oh, mindfulness. And you know what? I don't know. It's just one of those things. Maybe it's that kind of that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the time is right, suddenly something is presented to you. And it literally was that I did a workshop on creativity because I was interested in that topic. That I then became introduced to this whole concept of mindfulness. And then, it's kind of taken me from there. So I think different things work for different people, but I would say no one is going to be harmed by even just taking a few minutes out the day and just doing some deep breathing to calm yourself down and start to center yourself and give it a go, really.
A final tip, you can light a candle, and if you're fearful of closing your eyes when you begin, you can just sit and look at the flame of the candle. You can put your timer on your mobile phone for 5 minutes. Just focus on your breathing and just look at the flame. Simple. Don't complicate things.
Fantastic. That's so good. And I was going to say, that's a great way to wrap up, isn't it? So that our folks can shine bright without burning out by focusing on that flame.
Oh, I love that.
Sorry, it had to be said. Anyway, thank you again, Heather, so much. Thank you, audience, and we'll see you soon on another edition of Making Work Work. Take care.
Bye-bye.